Here at Tattoo Tabletop, we have a lot of fun, so be sure to like, share, subscribe. It's all completely free, and it helps me out. And if you really want to help me out, come join our Patreon. Link is in the description where you can come post and talk about your favorite minis. Now back to the video. We're back. Welcome back to the variety channel that is Tattoo Tabletop, and today we are going over my list for GT coming up this weekend. Fortunately, it's one here locally, so that'll be nice and easy, and it's at my friendly local game store, The Forge, which is always great as well. So, why the Kruleboyz? Number one, because I still like the Kruleboyz, I'm still working on the Kruleboyz, and potentially in the future, there might be me making a display board for these guys for another tournament that should be happening in the fall, sometime around November. So keep an eye peeled for that. This is also the army that I still probably had the most practice with. I have, as we all know, been painting up some Space Wolves. I've been working on some Heresy, keeping it light, keeping it fun, keeping it different. But again, this is an AOS GT, and we're going to go with what I know. Now, I did get a game of AOS at the Tabletop Titans studio, which was absolutely incredible. Again, you can find that in tagged up in my page in multiple places. Go check that out, where I played my Flesh Eater Courts. Always a good time. And the Flesh Eater Courts do have a new book now coming, so I will be taking a look at that in the future as well. But enough talk. Let's get into the list. So number one, the formation that we are running is the Swamp Horde Bully. I don't know that this is an auto take. I know that there's some people that definitely think that this is an auto take. +1 to your tax characteristic for a unit that's in combat with another Kruleboyz unit is fantastic. It does play into a little bit of what I've built here, but it's got to be played just right. So I think there's a couple opportunities there, but so that's what we've got so far. Let's start with regiment number one. So for regiment number one, we've got Gobsprak. Now, Gobsprak hasn't been making his appearance much in the lists, I think probably because of his cost and some other things factored in there. I still like him, primarily because he still punishes your opponent for casting. If you dispel, you're doing D3 mortals. That's a free D3 mortals. That's pretty good. If you do it on a 10+, which you do have your Screaming Mandrake, which can be a once per battle 3d6 dispel, so for a nice big one, then you do D6 mortals. Now, there was a couple times where in the games that I played with at a local RTT testing out this list the first time, I was able to do a couple dispels that were 10+. And so that D6, that free D6 mortals was extremely welcome. So we have that going for him. We also have a Beastskill Keelbow. Again, these aren't making a ton of appearances here and there, but I still think they're solid. Where you do have a monster and they are in range, if you can hit them, you can wound them, you're doing some damage to them, which is massive, really helps them out. And it also helps out some of the other units that's attached in here is one unit of Monster Killers. Well, at least in this regiment, you can see we have two, obviously. But we have one unit of Monster Killers in this regiment so that we can place it, stage it. I mean, there's still monsters out there that can do some work, and in the event that they are damaged, I can hand out some strike last, get some big movement there, and really kind of help cement my combat order, and I think that's going to do well for me. Top of that, I also have the 20 block of Gut Rippers here. I'm still debating. I might change this to 2 10s just to kind of help pop off the Swamp Horde Bullies mechanic. I mean, obviously a 20 block receiving the benefit of +1 attack is a lot better than 2 10 blocks and only 1 block getting the +1. But I think it will also potentially give me more board presence. But at least for right now, what I have in the list is the 20 block of Gut Rippers there. And then I have Snatcher Boss on Sludgeraker. I do really like this model. First of all, it's super fun to paint. I had an absolute blast. I do not have Scumdrek, and Scourge Scumdrek has been doing particularly well, has been doing some really nice things for the Kruleboyz, but I do still like the standard Snatcher Boss on Sludgeraker. Can do some massive damage, can hand out some poisons, things like that. So still very good for the list. For regiment number 2, we have the Scourge Killer Boss on Gnashtooth. The new FAQ for this made me so hyped. The fact that he can run into something that's in terrain, i.e. Lumineth Realm Lords, where they have a caster in there, or Blades of Corn, you got a priest in there, you can drag him out. He's the one who has my enhancement. I gave him Slippery Scumbag because I still like the idea of deciding to either drag something away, or in the event he gets caught into a combat that he doesn't want to get caught into on a 3-up, I can just leave. And that is really, really helpful for me. I think that's going to keep him alive. That's going to help his durability a bit. And it's going to allow him a little bit more flexibility and maybe even just getting some extra movement. Maybe I do charge into a combat that I don't intend to drag out because maybe I don't reach the hero, and then I roll a 3+, again, fingers crossed, And then I just move past it and move into a different quarter of the table. So he does offer up some free movement there. On top of that, I also have a reinforced unit of Manskewer Boltboyz. Still love these guys. Stand still, get a plus to hit. It's still pretty good. I still really like it. I still think it can do a lot of damage. The thing that I have to remember is that I'm not playing 40k and that I can shoot into combat. So, but of course, also covering fire being a potential benefit, because if they stand still, they're getting a minus, but they're getting a plus. So then they're back up to their regular hitting, which is great. Then I have the other unit of monster killers. Already went through them. I got them nice and coordinated though. So again, hopefully striking last some monsters. Hopefully just, and of course they also do have just good damage output at 3 attacks apiece. They actually can pop off, and even using Swamp Horde Bullies on them could potentially be a massive boost in that direction. So here's hoping. And then of course, last unit I have in there is a Merc Knob to give things a 6-up ward. Usually sticks around with the 20 block of Gut Rippers, tries to make them as durable as possible with the, getting the +1 to save on like the Swamp Collar there to, boost that using the Pot Grot, and then using the spell itself to give them a +2 to their save, trying to make them as beefy as possible, which at best you're getting a 4-up save and a 6-up ward. I like to think that does make them a little bit more resistant, kind of pushes your opponent back a little bit. So we're going to hope for that there as well. And of course, for the last one, the last regiment is very small. We have the Swamp Collar Shaman. Honestly, fantastic caster. And of course, I gave him the Swamp Staff so that he is a 2-cast. So we have 2 casts here, 2 casts here. Nice 4-cast for Kruleboyz. Hopefully get them a serious amount of casts in there and get off some of the things we need to, including, of course, I went with the Gorka Morka Manifestations. The Stompa is great, the Foot of Gork, and then of course you have the Swamps that can just really tie stuff down, not let them run away, not let them get away from you. Massive. And of course, even just popping the happy little head there and getting a plus to your casting and really helping things out. So fingers crossed there as well. And then of course I have another Beast Skewer Kill Ball, so that we can actually do a little bit more damage to those monsters. Again, kind of keep that threat, kind of keep things pushing back. And of course, they also get a plus for standing still as well, which is always great. And then, of course, last but not least, we have just one more 3-man unit of Manskewer Boltboyz. Again, keeping up that range damage, keeping up that pressure, using the Gut Rippers as a screen, and using the monster killers out there to go and get monsters. It's not a ton on the board. It's a good amount, but it's not a ton. But fingers crossed we can do some stuff with it, because most importantly, what battle tactics did I go with? For those of you who haven't played 4th edition, you now have battle tactics that are built into your list. It's no longer a reflexive choice. I have been enjoying the system. It makes it a little bit more direct, a little bit more straightforward, which is nice. But in this case, I have gone with Intercept and Recover, which is the kill the Gyronite treasures. So your opponent picks 3 things. If I'm lucky, they're picking their monsters. So then that way, like Beast Skewer Kill Bows are targeting those along with the Manskewer Boltboyz. And of course, monster killers, because again, that's hopefully going to be the most durable thing. Or they're picking the smaller unit, in which case it should be easier. I want to be forcing them to have to be careful with some of their 3 key units, or maybe their 3 most durable units. So I think that's going to be my best bet there. And then I also went with Wrathful Cycles. I think Wrathful Cycles is probably one of my better ones, just because I'm going to be wanting to kill units. We do have a unit specifically out here to kill units, to kill heroes, to drag them out and make them, step away from bonuses, buffs, and kill them. And then, of course, being able to fight with multiple things. There's going to be a certain go turn where my half of my army is going to want to fight, or it's going to be fighting inherently. So hopefully we can get into that situation, and then eventually popping on as many objectives as we can towards the end. And, being in all the different quarters, using the dirty tricks, to move across the board. So that's the list. Again, Swamp Horde Bullies, not 100% sure if that's the move. I've always still been partial to the middle finger, and I like the extra range on the range stuff, because obviously I have 4 units of ranged infantry here and, a big kill bow. But I think that the Bullies is still going to be the route to go. It's still going to put my opponent into a weird spot of not trying to tag up multiple things, which is good, because then I can just nominate that and get some extra attacks in there. But, we're going to see how we do. This is, I'm still very excited about my Kruleboyz. I'm still very curious to see how this does. I'm still liking the idea of using Gobsprak. Maybe we'll do some pivoting later, but I still really like that. And we're just going to give it our all. Just see how we get along. And of course, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. It's all down and below. We have officially crossed the threshold of 1,000, which is incredible. I have officially launched my Patreon, which obviously I played a little video for you earlier. So please come join us. Fill out that Discord. You can talk AOS. You can, if you like 40K, you can talk 40K. If you like heresy, you can talk heresy. We set it all up in there, and I even have a dollar tier so that you can just join, come help me out, and come talk about stuff and just have fun, because that's what we're here for. That's what Tattoo Tabletop stands for. But until next time, which of course will be recapping how I did this weekend, guess you can just go paint something.